3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Mommies, Mo Problems, your podcast destination for all things mommy. I am your host, Kaylia Flowers, and I have been gone for a while. I have been a busy queen. For my own sanity and mental health, I was like, okay, I have all these things. I have to choose something to depart from for just like a second so that I could focus on other things that were like happening right now. And so the podcast just so happened to be the thing. At the start of the year, I told myself I was going to do all these things. And I definitely feel like I manifested all kinds of really cool stuff for my year. If you see behind me, this was my vision board. You can't really see all the specific details because it's kind of far. There's like a lady doing a podcast and like fitness goals and like be your fucking self and just creativity is contagious, pass it on. And just all these things that I was kind of putting together to conjure up this image of myself this year where I slayed and conquered goals and did things that were really creative that made my soul feel happy. And I fucking did that shit. It was crazy. I don't know if it's the magic of the of the vision board or if it really is just when you set an intention and you follow through because you have it all out on paper, like what exactly your plan is, and then you kind of execute it. But I didn't have a plan either. There wasn't really a plan. I just knew that I wanted to take advantage of opportunities and say yes to things as they came my way. I was like, if there's a door, I'm walking through the threshold, regardless of if I feel like I'm not ready or if I have fear or any of those things that have like held me back hella in the past, you know? So anyway, all of that to say that I ended up writing a musical this year. It was right at the start of the year, right around when I started this podcast. I was also using all of this equipment to produce my own music. And, I was just having fun and playing around and writing little ditties for funsies. And then, I came in contact with an old high school friend who was telling me that they have this thing called the Selma Originals in Selma, which is a smaller town in the town that I live in. Or a part of the town that I live in. I don't know if I said that right. But anyway, so he has done this really cool event with the Selma Arts Center for, I think, maybe 5 years now. Don't quote me on that. But it's been a few years. And this is their first year being back fully in person with like a full-on originals kind of event sort of deal. And I was asked to produce something and kind of put it up there. So I wasn't sure if I was going to. I had a lot of doubts. I was like, it sounded really exciting. I had always wanted to write something in the past, but my fear always got in the way. So I went for it and I decided to just kind of hunker down and write. And I ended up creating this really special piece called Dysfunction. And it is a song cycle. So it is, a song cycle, for those who may not know, is like a collection of songs. They could be performed in concert style or they can be like theatrically illustrated or with choreography and stuff. So we added like illustration and blocking and staging and stuff so that there was more nuance and stuff going on stage. And yeah, it's basically about the people that we often consider crazy or weird and their behaviors and how we can't be so quick to judge people because we don't know what they're going through. And, like, there are people out here that, like, their moms and dads and husbands and partners are struggling with addiction or they're struggling with addiction or they were raped multiple times in their lifetime or their mom was and they carry that generational trauma down with them. And, I think a lot of times when people just judge people right off their behavior and what they're seeing in front of them, instead of, like, stopping and having compassion to be like, oh, wait, maybe there's other things going on. And I think that if we could all just take a small second right before we get all like petty and judgmental and cancel people, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, if we could just stop and have a little bit of compassion because everybody's going through something and everybody has pain. And so it was an important message that kind of fell out of my body, and I really wanted to sit down and write that shit. And as I was doing it, as I was getting closer to this cohesive kind of piece of art that was around my baby, that was around when I was like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, because I was doing that. I was writing that, trying to perfect it. I am a perfectionist. So everything I would write, and then I would go back and look at it, and I was like, this isn't right. This isn't right. And so I was like, it's never going to be right. And I was just like in this loop of like feeling really bad about myself and feeling really good about myself. And the podcast was doing its thing, and the mommy group was doing its thing, and I was still working full time. And I was like, oh shit, I'm overwhelmed. I have to be mom. I'm doing all this stuff. Like, I need to like chill. So that was about when my podcast episodes were like 2 weeks apart, 3 weeks apart, and now it's been like over a month. And so for that, I do apologize, but I can say that something really beautiful came from it. And, our show only got 3 nights to perform, but it was definitely really special. And it's something I'll treasure forever. And also, this is not the last of this musical. Like, this has taken me, this whole experience has taken something that I've always had a passion for and given me a purpose for it, and given me an avenue for it, in a doorway to go through eventually, should the time come. And so I'm excited that I was given the opportunity to collaborate with other really amazing artists, and put all of our heads together and add our little bit of sauce to this thing that came from my brain. And I just like put it on paper, and other people took it and was like, oh shit, this is good. And then they added a little bit, and then other people added, and the actors that we had come in and hold auditions for added things. And it was really, really, really hella special. So while I am sad that I had to take a minute on the Mommy podcast, I do feel like it was worth it. And a bitch is back. So anyway, other things that happened are I recently quit my job. I didn't like quit in a crazy way. I gave my 2 weeks and left neatly. But I quit my job. You guys, you don't understand. I needed to quit my job a long time ago. And I mean, it does put us in a financially stressful kind of place, but honestly, that job was holding me back in so many ways. There was nowhere to grow. I definitely feel like I wasn't always valued. So I would take this shit home with me all the time. Me and my husband were butting heads. I would go to work and just kind of feel like I was getting smacked in the face with, while then going home and being smacked in the face again with all this mom shit. And my husband, as you know from some of the podcast episodes, because I work full time, and he also works full time, but in the evening hours, it just worked out to where he was with the kids most of the time. And so, I'm finally, now that I'm home, seeing kind of the stuff he had to do every day. Like, I've raised a whole kid by myself before I ever met Darian, but it is, I do see like having 2 kids and doing all of this and being at home, and it's hard. So I don't know. I think that's hard anyway, but it's even harder when you're a man. I think, not that men can't do certain things. I just think that moms know their kids and they know how to handle situations better. And I honestly, like, sometimes men just have like a thing with their emotions where like they lack in patience, and sometimes it's frustration. And so, I would come home and there would be frustration coming from that direction, and I'm bringing frustration from my direction. And, me and my husband are like, it's like trying to fit a triangle into a circle space. It's like we were like not getting along, not working. And we were working. Like, we've always been able to like put all the bullshit behind us and get to bed and do our kisses and send our I love you texts. And all of that. But it was very much like wearing on our relationship. And there was a lot of other things too with work where I just had to leave, So now I'm in this weird place where I'm kind of feeling that stay-at-home mom life, y'all. And like I always say, don't feel bad if you're a stay-at-home mom. Like, people try to like polarize it and be like, oh, well, moms that are like full-time moms that work every day like are the ones that are really doing something. And then some people are like, well, full-time moms never see their kids. And then some people are like, oh, well, stay-at-home moms are the ones that are really doing the hard work. And then other people are like, well, stay-at-home moms don't do shit. And it's like, either way, you're being judged, right? But I can honestly say that I was a full-time mom, and I absolutely felt like I was not seeing my kids, especially if I wanted to do anything creative for myself. Because there's rehearsals and all these things, and then like I'm not really seeing my kids, and I'm not really seeing my husband, and it makes it really, really hard to feel connected like I want to, because I value family. That's like a high on my priority list of values. But now that I have been home for 2 weeks, this shit is like real life, you guys. Like today, I was like, my son like had a diaper explosion, and it was just like everywhere. Like it wasn't everywhere, but I found myself scrubbing shit off the ground. And I was sweating in my titties. It was like titty sweat, and I was like, shit and titty sweat. There was a group text with my mom friends, and I was like, you guys, is this what stay-at-home momming is? Just like shit and titty sweat. And they were laughing because they're like, yes, that's what it is. And so, props to the moms that are out here and are just sweating from their titties profusely and scrubbing shit out of the carpets. Being in it feels like isolation. I'm not as social throughout the day because I'm not working. I'm not around a bunch of people, around a bunch of parents, around a bunch of kids. And so I'm finding myself like eating when I don't really need to, and I'm not hungry, when I wouldn't have been doing that during the workday, because it's like go, 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 go. And so now I'm like, ooh, I gotta watch it, making myself Hot Pockets for breakfast. You know what I mean? Like I just gotta like keep it tight, keep it healthy. And it's not so much about vanity and what I look like, it's just about how I feel. And I know that when I'm eating like shit and I'm like doing these things, it starts to add up, and then I start to really feel bad about myself. So I guess I'm just trying to get into this new routine as a stay-at-home mom, and I'm trying to figure out what this is going to look like for me every day. And I want to make sure I have a plan every day. And yeah, it's just been kind of a little bit of a struggle. So anyway, all of that is what's been going on since the last time I did a podcast episode. And it has been a lot. I'm still doing my mommy group, so that's going really well. We just recently had a pajama party, which was really cool. We like all got together, and the ladies were in their pajamas, and we played games, and we just like did some fellowship, talked, sat in the circle, did the mom support group thing. And it was really special seeing different moms that I haven't seen in the past pull up to the spot and be really excited to see me and to meet me finally face to face. And for so many of them to open up immediately and be vulnerable with us. I think a lot of times when you get together with any large group of people, but especially like moms or anything where people have enough things in common where they start to compare themselves, I think you usually come across some interesting personalities and some weird vibes. And I didn't get weird vibes at all. Like it was so chill and it was so fun. And it was just a good ass time. And so I'm really proud of my work this year. I'm really proud of the mommy group and how it's evolved in the past year and a half. I'm really proud of the podcast and how it started and where it's headed. And all my plans for it in the future. There's even more stuff going on I haven't even been able to really talk about. And yeah. And I would like to talk about Colleen Ballinger. What happened? Who is Colleen Ballinger? What's going on? What is this? Well, I don't know if you've heard of Miranda Sings. It was I believe, YouTube sensation in the mid to late-ish 2000s. It's giving like 2013, 2012-ish, all the way till now, currently. So it's been like a good 10 or so years. I could be wrong. Do not quote me on that information. But I personally like Colleen Ballinger because she's a theater queen and she's just a huge weirdo. And she's a great singer. She's another influencer YouTube personality that I watched a lot during my pregnancy. And I fucked with her heavy. I still fuck with her heavy, actually. I'm not going to say I fucked past tense because I currently still really, really like Colleen Ballinger. But as people do, she had somebody come out and say that she was inappropriate with them when they were really young, and it turned into this whole thing where other people were coming up and they were basically insinuating, alleging that she was grooming them and that she has engaged in these kind of grooming behaviors with younger people, and like also didn't credit them in intellectual property and stuff like that that she used for her sketches. Now, some of this for me sounds like a reach, to be honest, because I don't know if you heard about what's going on with Lizzo either, but I just feel like once you start doing really well, people who used to know you when you weren't doing that well yet, and they were kind of rooting for you to fail, and they see you're doing big things and you're happy and you got kids and you're married, or maybe you're not married, maybe you're just hella successful, but something, and it makes them go, oh, well, what about me? And then you're like, actually, bitch, you're not a good person. I'm gonna make sure everybody sees that, to discredit you and to cause you to fall from your rising, whatever that is. They want you to fall. And I can't speak on the Lizzo thing either, and I really can't all the way speak on the Colleen Ballinger situation. But the way I see it is, if she was a dumbass kid and everyone else was a dumbass kid, all the texts, all the like screenshots I saw on the internet available on Google, nothing looked that bad anyway. So it just felt like a reach. I'm like, why are we reaching? Why do we care so much about like dragging this person? And like, I think there's just something to say about cancel culture and people who feel like when a celebrity has done one thing wrong in their life, which is normal because we are human fucking beings, that means that they are now canceled and that their whole career and livelihood should fall as they do. You know, like we saw it with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Amber Heard probably has no career now. That's someone's paycheck. And like, I'm sorry, but don't come for me on my paycheck. That's messed up. I don't know. I mean, I get it. If somebody actually did something to harm you intentionally, then I would definitely go forward and say something. But I just think that to wait this many years and then to come out about it now, it looks a little opportunistic for me. It's a little too opportunistic for me. But anyway, so let me find an article so that I can be a little bit more, let's see. Let's read from Vanity Fair. That's not really a credible source, but it will give us most of the information. Oh, July 19th. So this was last month. So it's been like a couple months since this happened. But okay. Late last month, Rolling Stone published a story alleging that Ballinger had engaged in inappropriate behavior, it's literally written in quotes, with underage fans. The magazine verified screenshots of texts in which Ballinger asked a minor about their virginity status and their favorite sexual position. She also asked them to send pictures of their body, however inappropriate her alleged behavior was. The article clarified that no sexual crime had been committed and that no evidence in review hinted at the possibility that Ballinger had intended to start a sexual relationship with a child. Ballinger did not respond to Rolling Stone's multiple requests for comments. That's all I'm going to read from this Vanity Fair article because things have bias and they're also like, you know. So yeah, that's what happened. And, you know, I don't know which is better. People love to argue that if you're being accused of stuff that it's better to say nothing. But in a lot of ways, I feel like silence is consent, or silence is in some way an admission of guilt, because it's like, you know, I'll let my publicist handle it. And a lot of people feel deeply hurt and offended when they are dragged out of nowhere from people who are their motherfucking fans. And this is the thing about cancel culture. It's like, how much of a fan were you if you're willing to drag someone that you've followed and supported in their career for years? And now all of a sudden it's the flippity floppity. Like, the flippity floppity is not, it's not it, you guys. It's not cute. So it's like, either fuck with Colleen Ballinger or decide that like you're gonna separate yourself. But to be so much so on the fence that you just hop off as soon as something that's even kind of unfavorable comes out, without even like looking into it. Like, I've seen all kinds of weird stuff. But anyway, people like to think that, a lot of people, I've heard, I don't want to say it like that. it has been said in the past that to respond is not a good idea. That the best thing to do is just to lay low, keep your head down, and wait till it blows over, and let your publicist kind of step in and speak on behalf of you. And then if you need to, like, come out with an apology. And something I'm seeing celebrities do now is they address it themselves. And I think it's just because it's fucking foolishness and they're tired of it. So Colleen, with her little quirky self, got on YouTube and she brought her ukulele and she wrote a little song, which, not gonna lie, it's a very me way to apologize. Like, I feel like I would also write a song to be like, okay, wait, let me like admonish myself of all of this bullshit. But anyway, she was like, the toxic gossip train. And some of the song was like real facts. Like, she was talking about how people just decide they hate you. And it doesn't matter if she did the thing or not, because it's fun to do this to celebrities. And that it's this toxic train and it's cyclical nature. And that's what she had written the song about. But then there were other parts of the song where she was kind of it felt like she wasn't accepting any accountability, and I feel like it just would have been better if she would have been like, hey, this shit happened and it wasn't okay. In hindsight, probably shouldn't have done that. Super weird and creepo. However, no crimes were committed, nothing weird was going on. It was a strange conversation with my fans. It's over. I wash my hands. I'm done. Let's all move on. Like, get the fuck over it. Am I going to jail? Are you suing me? Then shut up, basically. I just don't think she did it well. And I think that the song, as catchy and cute as I thought it was, I think people did not like the song. And even if they did like the song or didn't care about the song, people definitely like to hop on the opportunity to make fun of you and like make you a meme and do all these things. And so, very much like Lizzo, Colleen Ballinger, and I think Colleen Ballinger shit happened before Lizzo shit, but she kind of got herself caught in this situation. But also, I haven't seen much from her at all, and I think that it's kind of died down. I haven't really heard anybody talk about it. I actually wanted to talk about this mommy in the media like a month ago. As I said, I've been really busy. So I just wanted to bring it up now. But Colleen has one son and a set of twins, and she's married to her husband of, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 years now they've been married, and they have like the 3 kids, and they're just really special, sweet little babies. And I hope that she's doing okay. And in the weird event that she ever looks at this video, which she's not going to fucking look at this video. But if you do, girl, I'm on your side. I'm so sorry this is happening. This has happened. And I hope that you can get back to making your art and doing what you love to do soon. Because the toxic gossip train is bullshit. So anyway, yeah, I just feel like cancel culture is super lame. And I think if you fuck with someone heavy, then keep that energy even when they're going through something that's hard. Especially if not all the facts are there to show that they even did anything wrong. So yeah, that's just my piece. Definitely people need to be held accountable for their actions. And if somebody does something super shiesty, and people come out about it, then yes, definitely. But like, I see people flippity floppity so fast before even knowing all the facts and knowing all the information. And I think that's really the part where, it's kind of bothersome for me. I don't know. For the mommy movie moment, I would like to talk about the movie called Missing on Netflix. Let me just pull up this really quick. Missing is a 2023 film available on Netflix. It is a mystery film. It is starring Storm Reed, Ava Zaria Lee, Joaquim de Almeida, Ken Lang, Kimberly Chang, Amy Landecker, and Nia Long. It's an interesting cast. It's definitely like a cast of it's kind of a who's who a little bit. You might recognize Storm Reed from Euphoria. She plays the little sister in Euphoria. So I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's really good. It's called Missing. It was directed by Will Merrick, Nick Johnson, and Nicholas D. Johnson. Ooh, 3 directors. And it was written by Will Merrick. Yeah, cool. All right. So I'm gonna read this IMDb. It says, when her mother disappears while on vacation in Colombia with her new boyfriend, June's search for answers is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try and find her before it's too late. However, as she digs even deeper, her digital sleuthing soon raises more questions than answers. Ooh, this movie is so good. So it starts off with this. I can't remember how it starts. Oh, okay. It starts off with this video of a daughter and her dad. It's obvious he's their dad because of like the context, you know. And they're singing or doing something together, and then you hear like the mom's voice, but you don't see her. And this is like, you could tell it's like a home video. It's like it's old, and the mom says something along the lines of like, "Okay, it's time to go to bed," or something like that. And basically, that's the end of the video. But when the video is over, you see June is Storm Reed's character, June. You see her kind of click out of it as if it's like saved. And so you're like, oh, why is this saved? Like, huh. And very soon into it, you get information that her father has actually passed away and that her mom is single momming it. And it's just her and her mom. And there's some resentment there. And so, you know, when I'm first watching this, I'm like, okay, single mom, cares a lot about the daughter and her safety, super like kind of clingy, interesting relationship. The daughter has this avoidant kind of thing going on, this pursuer avoidant dynamic going on between the mom and the daughter. And the mom reaches for bids. She engages in these bids for connection like a lot. And the daughter just kind of like rejects her a lot. So I think there's even a part where the mom goes, "I love you." And the daughter like doesn't reply or something, or she says something, but it's super like shysty and makes the mom feel bad. But anyway, so the mom's like, "Oh, I'm going on vacation with my new boyfriend," which for the daughter is kind of like eye roll because like, oh, you're going on vacation with your new fucking boyfriend. I'm like, okay, like, you know, she lost her dad. It's the whole thing. And I don't want to give away what happens, and a lot of the plot is all intertwined, so I can't give away too much, so I'm not going to talk much longer about the movie, but it gets really interesting once she realizes her mom is missing. Like, she goes to go pick her up from the airport, and she doesn't show up, and I immediately have this thought of like, if I had to go pick up my mom and she did not show up, I'd be like mad at her. I'd be like, this bitch did not show up. Like, where does she think? Like, where is she going? What is she doing? But she tries to call her and she like tries to reach out to her and she's like, what's going on? Hello? Like, are you okay? I'm getting really worried. And like hours and hours and hours go by and it's nothing. And I'm like, oh no. But the way that they do it, I don't know if it's the music or the lack of music. There's music, but it's not like super intense or crazy. And something about it just makes you feel Storm Reed's like her angst about like, oh my god, where's my mom, is she okay, you know, especially since again the last time she spoke to her mom she wasn't even that nice to her. And so it's like, where's my mom? And like you see her start to cry and she starts to feel hopeless, and it's this very like sad thing. And I think Storm Reed's just a good actor anyway. If you ever seen Euphoria, her performance in that show is really seamless. Like, you believe that she is a little kid, that she's a little sister to someone who's an addict, and that she watched her. There's a scene where she watches her sister overdose. Like, she walks in and she's like ODing, and she like just has this full on like like she's in total freeze mode with trauma and like crying and breathing and like, and you just like believe her. So like I knew she was gonna come heavy with this movie, and she definitely did not disappoint. And you just see her panic, and I don't want to give away all the details because it's a really good movie, but she uses every single motherfucking resource that she has to find her mom. And I can't say that she does find her mom, but it's not in the way you think, and it's just not what you think. It's like, what's crazy though is my annoying husband, who I love so much. If you're seeing this, I love you. He like automatically predicted what was going to happen. He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's this is what's happening. And I was watching it a second time because I'd already seen it. And I was like, no, that's not what's going to happen. It's annoying. But I don't know. Maybe you'll see it coming, but I definitely didn't see it coming. And because it's um it's filmed like a mystery. So like, like we find out small details as she's finding out the small details. Like it's not like we know what's going on and then she has to find out. Like we're finding out as she's finding out, so we very much feel like we're a part of this search, like we're a part of this mystery. And I want to know where the mom is too. I was like, where's our mama at? Where'd she go? And it's just a really good movie. But I also think that underneath the mystery and the thrillerness of it, is really just a mother-daughter story. And I think that it's just about treasuring your parent when you have them, because you only really get one. And I think that in the end, once she does find her mom, without giving away details of the story, they definitely like have a different relationship than the one that they had before she went on that trip. And I think that in a weird way, this crazy traumatic thing for the both of them brought them closer together, and they have this like really cute relationship. And I don't know, it moved me towards the end because I was like, oh, because like, I feel like we all have weird relationships with our moms, especially after we have our own kids. So anyway, yeah, go watch Missing on Netflix. Really good. Starring Storm Reed and Nia Long and a bunch of other actors. Directed by, let me pull it up again. Directed by Will Merrick, Nick Johnson, and Nicholas D. Johnson. It was released January 20th, 2023. Really, really good movie. Go check it out. Okay. And I just have one more thing I want to talk about before I get up off of here and feed my kids. Oh, okay. So for Kicking It with Kay, I wanted to talk about conflict and how I do a lot of work to avoid conflict. And I think that it's kept me safe through my childhood. And now I've reached a place where I can't be afraid of it anymore. Conflict is good. It's necessary. And if you do it the right way, it could even like bring you closer together with people and help you connect with other people. But at the end of the day, conflict is just like it's miscommunication happening between two people trying to talk about their feelings and what they need from each other, and like even with my own kids, I don't like conflict. Like I don't like when my kids are mad at me. I don't like when my son is like disappointed or I let him down or like he's in trouble and he's sad about it and so he's crying in the other room. Like it makes me profoundly uncomfortable when people are upset with me. And this has kept me out of rooms that I should have been in a long time ago. This has kept me from opportunities that I should have been engaging with a long time ago. And it just really has held me back a lot in my life and has kept a lot of shitty ass people in my life as well. And I think about these friendships that I've had in the past or even currently, that I still have, where I'm like, if I didn't avoid conflict so much, would we still be friends? Like if I told you truly like the things that you have done and said that hurt me as you say them and do them, do you think we would even still be here? Because sometimes I feel like I do a lot of work to preserve these relationships with people, and we're always just like one argument away from everything exploding and burning alive. And so I've just been learning a lot, even with my kids. It's like, if we're throwing tantrums because we're not getting our way, then okay, that's allowed. Part of it is just allowing people to have their feelings. I think part of it is like this weird, it's like the avoidance of conflict, right? But it's also like a control thing. It's like, if I can control everyone in the room and how they feel about me and how I'm being perceived at every moment, then I don't have to worry about anything bad happening. And then I'm safe, right? Like, I think that's where it's coming from. But it comes across as me not allowing people to feel their feelings. Like my husband has like woken up in a shitty mood, and he's been like there's times where he's been like really mad. He's just in a bad mood, not being mean to anyone, just like walking around mad. And the presence near me makes me uncomfortable because I'm like, what did I do? Why are you mad? Why are you mad at me? And he's like, I didn't even say anything to you. And I'm like, yeah, but you're mad near me. And it's making me uncomfortable, and I want to alleviate that, right? So the first thing I do is I try to go over there and like rub his shoulders, or like, hey, what do you need? Do you want me to do something? You want me to make you some coffee, baby? Like, what's going on? And if some people just have their feelings, So sometimes he's like, no, I want some space. rejection. And then after that, I'm like, oh, well, I don't know why you're mad at me. I didn't do anything to you. And now I'm defensive, and now I'm upset. And now I'm like really, really upset with him for not feeling the emotion that I want him to feel right now. And that's not fair. And so, that's just a little therapy from me to me where where I'm really thinking about this people pleasing thing and how it ties back to avoiding conflict, and how that could be manipulative, and how it can also just be like kind of emotionally invalidating for the people that you love in your life. So I don't know if you struggle in that way, but I'm definitely thinking a lot about how I can sit in the discomfort of people being unhappy with me and being like, okay, that's fine. And if I really did something to harm someone, I need to trust that they will use their words, because this is not a one person party. Like, it takes two people to have a relationship. So if somebody has an issue with me and they're uncomfortable and they don't tell me, and then they get mad later, I can't then make it my fault that they're upset. They did not communicate what they needed from me directly in a way that was clear and not and in a way that was appropriate and level-headed. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. That's all I got, you guys. That's all I got for today. I'm really, really happy that I got to sit down and do this. It took so much just to sit down, set this up, and do this podcast. But I'm really glad that I came back. I'm feeling ready for more, and ready for more mommies, ready for more solo episodes. Keep your eyes peeled for some really, really cool guests that I hope get to come on. And yeah, I love you. You're sexy and cool. And I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Mo Mommies, Mo Problems. See you later. Bye.